Today we're going to cover Alexander the Great. In today's lesson we're going to talk about how Alexander the Great got to his power. We're going to talk about how Alexander the Great was as a military leader. We're also going to talk about Alexander the Great and his biggest rival. And we're going to wrap up today with Alexander the Great's legacy and his death as well. So how did Alexander the Great get to his power? He was born July 26, 356 BCE in an area called Pella, Macedonia. Pella, Macedonia is located at the Black Sea, borders the Black Sea to its west in the northern part of Greece. At the age of 13, he became student of Aristotle. Aristotle was believed to be the smartest mind of that time. At the age of 16, he was given command of his father's forces in Macedonia. At the age of 20, he officially became the king of Macedonia. As a military leader, Alexander the Great invades Persia around 334 before Common Era. This is the same Persia as the Persian Wars. He defeats 110,000 men, 110,000 army once he gets there. He moves on to Egypt. The minute he walks into Egypt, he is called Pharaoh. Remember what Pharaoh is. Pharaoh is supreme ruler of Egypt. He develops a new technique called flanks. A flanks is a box formation, 8 to 36 men deep. Men in the front carried 12 to 18 foot spears. Everybody else would form in behind it and carry weapons as well. This today is called European style warfare. Two sides have box formations that will go against each other and face one-on-one. American Revolution used the same style. Civil War at the beginning of Civil War used it. Second half they didn't really use it. Up until about World War I, this was the way that wars were fought, using the flanks. World War I, it was more trench warfare, but during this time, this was the way it was used for years and years. So, we've talked about Alexander the Great's power rise and him as a military leader. Let's talk about Alexander the Great's rival and his rivalry. His main rival was a person by the name of Darius III of Persia. He was Alexander the Great's biggest rival. They had three main battles. Alexander ends up winning all three. Alex wins, losing only 110 men. Number two, Alex wins the second one. Darius was forced to flee his city, leaving his mom, his wife, and his children. Now remember the children part a little bit later. Just remember it. To Alex. Alex wins the third one. Darius' city was burned down to the ground and Alex becomes king of Persia. When he's retreating, when Darius is retreating out of Persia, Darius ends up getting killed by his own men. Alexander says, no way. I am not letting his men get by with this. So Alexander ends up killing those men and giving Darius a royal funeral. I want you to write in your notebook, why do you think that Alexander gave Darius a royal funeral, even though Darius and Alexander were the biggest rivals out there? I want you to write in your notebook why you think that Alexander gave Darius a royal funeral. Now, we're gonna wrap up today's lesson with Alexander the Great's legacy and how he died. Alexander the Great's legacy, he made Babylonian the capital of his empire. He married, wait for this, he married one of Darius's daughters. His rival's daughters, yeah. He died June 11th, 323 BCE in Nebuchadnezzar's temple. The cause is unknown. There's stories out there, poison, could be a trick, they put poison in a drink. That's the story. But there are multiple reasons why they think he died. You can make up your own judgment once you do some looking. So today we have talked about why Alexander the Great is important. He took over a big area in what is the former Persian Empire. He had a big rivalry with Darius. He made Babylonia the capital of his empire. And he rose to power by the age of 20, took over his father's forces at the age of 16, and he came up with the modern tactic of warfare that was used for hundreds of years called the flanks. This ends Alexander the Great lesson for today.